to making a pandemic vaccine. They're been lobbied by 4 countries, the United States, Canada, Japan, and I'm trying to think of the 4th country, to not go to pandemic level 6 according to their own rules. So they changed the rules, which I have posted up as well. By the way, our news is a lot easier to go through. If you just go down to pandemic virus, right on the main page, or open up the archive, you'll see all the articles, pictures, links. The whole article is there copied, so you can check it out every day, every hour literally. I get new information. They post it up there on both Nutrimedical and Clay and Iron, and it's shocking how little action is being done to stop this thing from spreading. And, of course, what they're going to do is make it worse. Dr. Carley, your comments, because they're getting ready. If they're going to force vaccinate and switch to Pandemic 6, it means they're also going to rev up vaccination production by many of these 6 companies they have. And then they're going to, of course, declare martial law that if you don't take the vaccine, they're going to force you into civil detention, aren't they?
And what's really amazing, what people have to realize, is that they're paying for this initial, quote-unquote, research. There was an article posted on Natural News on February 12th that $954 million of this stimulus package was for further vaccinations. So they're paying for these vaccine companies to get the money to start this whole genocide program rolling, and then, of course, they're going to reap the benefits. But what Jane was talking about just gave me another very important idea. If this is being handled by a veterinarian, then perhaps all of you should reconsider getting your pets vaccinated. Perhaps they're putting this in the pet vaccines as well, so that, you know, Snoopy and smokers and all these pets that you love are going to come home and transmit the virus to you.
Wow. That's crazy. Dr. Ott, your comments, because this is like out of a very badly run B movie, and we have them, you know, literally peddling drugs that they know to develop resistance. They're talking about a vaccine of something that, quote, doesn't exist yet, although they're, according to Alexander Bachman, they're actually vaccinating people already in Mexico with some kind of test swine H1N1 flu vaccine. Like, what the heck is going on here?
Well, let me shift gears a little bit and bring a Mormon card into the table here.
Most certainly.
As many people worldwide know now, the Mormon LDS Church is very proactive as far as missionary force. Currently, they have around 52,000 young men and women aged 19 to 21 and a little older out spreading the gospel of Mormonism. They get their training over in about 4 weeks' time in a place called the Missionary Training Center, located just around BYU, Brigham Young University campus in Provo. And from that, they're sent out to literally all 4 corners of the globe. This is a little snippet that I just cut out of the paper today in my local paper. The LDS Church reports the swine flu is at the Missionary Training Center, the MTC. Now, this is what's amazing to me. They said they've diagnosed a number of missionaries, and they have been quarantined. These missionaries have been quarantined after being diagnosed with the swine flu. Now, there's roughly 2,000 missionaries new that come in and are processed and trained, and I think very much mind-controlled and propagandized to go out and do what they're told and click their heels and heil Hinckley or heil the prophets, whatever they say. Now, here's what's amazing. They're quarantining these missionaries from, the article says, quote, parents and family are not being allowed inside the center buildings to limit the chance of exposure to illnesses from outside sources. Wait a minute. These young missionaries are coming in, and if they're going out of America, they are getting their flu shots. All of their vaccinations are being done in-house before they leave the country.
Right.
Okay? What better way to have a bunch of typhoid Marys and typhoid Johns out there spreading this illness
and if
in the
I
missionary
could,
force?
Dr. Ott, I just want to underline what you just said because that's so important. They always make these missionaries be vaccinated before they go on their missions.
Absolutely.
So that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they're creating typhoid Marys and Joes, whatever. And if I could just bring up one other very quick thing. I got an article from the Associated Press today. If you think that our FDA is going to protect us people, the new FDA Heil Hitler person, her name is Margaret Hamburg, Her husband, Peter Brown, is an expert in artificial intelligence, but before her FDA nomination, Dr. Hamburg served for 5 years on the board of Henry Schein, a $4 billion firm that distributes medical and dental supplies, including vaccines. So when you see the conflict of interest, how huge this is, and how even churches, as Dr. Ott said, are being used to send people out to spread infections. I mean, the unfortunate thing for those of us trying to wake people up is that this is so evil that most people with a conscience cannot even conceive that such evil exists. But it's an obvious conspiracy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so when people call or email, please don't email me anymore saying, please rescue me. Well, yes, you can take your liquid zeolite and your Keelar Max, and you can try to kill it off with Alamed, Nutridyne, and so on. But we have access. If they declare martial law, which there's no need for it. In fact, if they declare martial law, and by the way, it won't be under Health and Human Services. They've already declared that all the powers pass over directly if they go to Pandemic 6 to the WHO. The WHO, not your federal government, not Health and Human Services, but the World Health Organization has control of the military, transferring people to civil detention. The World Health Organization becomes the proxy world government, in a sense, the arm of the globalist banksters. And so under Pandemic Level 6, the World Health Organization dictates policy, and the people are not operating literally under your own federal government even. They're operating under the control of the United Nations. That's the facts. Dr. Ott, your comments.
Well, absolutely. And again, I just want to emphasize that the LDS Church, from my extensive research, I'm a fifth-generation Mormon who left the fold after finding out the truth, and I began to expose the truth and was summarily excommunicated after I demanded my name be removed. They are an absolute Rockefeller United Nations front organization, folks. That's
right.
The truth of the matter. Brigham Young University was donated off to a United Nations campus.
Right.
They're controlled completely by the UN.
Right. Now, people have to understand this. They want Masonism to come out of the closet. They want the new world religion to be a religion that's also tied to globalism, to amalgamating all the religions and tied to environmentalism, the carbon tax, the carbon credit. And they want a cashless system, which they've leapfrogged forward now since the G20 meeting. All they need to do now is to declare and get started either the war, a threat of a war, have a pandemic, have an economic chaos and crash, and they'll have de facto world government. Because as soon as they get to the Pandemic 6, everybody in every nation, in order to even have mobility, to even have public property and not be in civil detention, will have to be chipped and injected.
And here you have the new Republican GOP darling is none other than Mitt Romney, the ex-governor of Massachusetts, who, of course, Massachusetts is the first forefront now of declaring the martial law takeover in the pandemic review. You got Romney, a full temple-worthy, garment-bearing Mormon out there beating the bushes, beating the drum for the GOP, against Obama, being set up for the next showdown. Folks, it's just incredible what's happening.
Yeah, in fact, I see that Obama, as he fails forward and gets to the next level, like a snake moving forward, pushing on itself, they'll be ready to bring a real fascist in rather than one who looks like a socialist and is a fascist, because Obama is not a leftist socialist. He's a corporate fascist, period. He's a globalist. He's a bankster's boy, as Anthony J. Hilder says. And now, of course, this Sotomayor is another. She's a bankster's girl. What we have is a whole rogues gallery of devils ready to start a pandemic, start an economic chaos, crashing General Motors, and they're ready to do it this fall. It's all converging in the next 3 to 6 months, and if you don't get ready, I'm not going to say God help you, because he's already sent his messengers to tell you what to do, and if you don't, he's not going to help you. Your comments, Dr. Carley.
I totally agree, and I hope that people will get a backbone, as you said. Stand up and just say no, folks. Don't go looking for help after they've given you the vaccine, because it's got the chip, it's got the DNA chip, it's got all of these other things, and there's no known way to neutralize those that I know of.
Right. No means no. No means no. First, take your injunctions and your legal militia forward, and then no means lock and load people. I mean it.